situation where someone that was exactly really, really, really vocal about people doing the exact same thing, he now goes on to do the exact same thing. It was obvious that the governor wasn't feeling very well. That was not news. And there was always this, there were also rumors of him passing over and over and over and over again. Like I said it on the bar, I said it a few times that if you really did not trust your deputy or you did not think that he was worthy enough to also be governor, why did you pick him? You had the chance to pick this person a second time and you still picked someone that you don't trust. I don't think that it makes any sense. I think that our will to hold on to power no matter what probably gets to a lot of people's heads. The truth is that I will not totally say that it's everybody, some people are immune or you're immune to it. Like I said, you really don't know how you would act until you are in that situation. Case in point, Governor Akeredolu. You really don't. So I think this also teaches a lot of people, or virtually everybody, that one thing is that maybe in criticizing people, not that when he criticized the late president then it was bad. It's just that you actually just never know what you are going to do yourself.
Yeah, that's the thing. So one moment you're saying politicians like we are saying, you know, but they say never say never. But I'll say never because at times it depends on how grounded you are and the way you look at life. A lot of people just want power, and when they get it, at times they don't even know what to do with it. But every time, if you realize that you're supposed to put the people first, if you always put the people first, every decision you take will benefit the people. Are you in the right frame of mind? Do you have the right mental and physical capacity to run this state? Oh no, you are failing in that capacity or in that aspect. What is the next line of action? Oh, step aside to take care of yourself. You know, step aside, let someone else run it. And again, of all people in the world, you have to choose a man that had that type of name, you know? Lucky.
Really, you do that.
I'm speaking the truth, yeah. The man's name is Lucky Ayedatiwa. In Yoruba, direct translation of Ayedatiwa means the world becomes our own. You know, this platform becomes our own. And the man...
You know, there's
miles apart from
the
each
truth.
other.
The truth is that
or meters
even
apart.
if they don't want to celebrate, it is what it is. Somebody passed on. Somebody overnight becomes governor.
Let's leave the hypocrisy aside for a few minutes. God forgive me, I don't wish bad on anybody, but my cousin that I'm close to, or my brother that I'm close to, calls me up and says, oh, sadly, his principal is gone, and he's the deputy governor. I'm on the next flight, man.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I'm not on the next flight to
because yes,
pay
he was
condolences.
acting governor.
Yeah,
but there
was still something around.
It was not.
Now,
his official was deputy governor. Acting governor or not, he was just deputy governor. There are a lot of things, there are a lot of powers that he couldn't. There were a lot of appointments he couldn't make, a lot of things that he couldn't do as acting governor. Now he's officially the governor.
As it stands now, any smart governor should reconstitute his cabinet. That's one of his
first steps. Some people are really going to lose their jobs, right?
That's one of the first steps that he should do. But I know that they're going to prevail upon him and, you know, try to bring the party supremacy and politics to bear.
I think that he actually also needs to be careful because now he has a perfect platform to be governor. The elections is in about a year. If he plays his cards right, he can be governor again. The only thing is that with that in mind, he should now realize that he can, especially with Nigerian laws now, he can only be governor once again.
It's enough. Once is enough, actually. I've always been an advocate for an extended one term for every governor because you find that some governors, you know, become really good at the second term. You know why? Because they know they do not have to come and beg you for votes again. So right now they can start demolishing houses and bringing down street gates and all of that, which is what they always wanted to do. But they were afraid that you will not re-elect them. I didn't mention anybody's name. If this speaks to you, well, congratulations. You're doing well.
Any which way. So, basically, the governors, the Nigeria Governors Forum, also the president, a lot of people have had a lot of things to say about the passing of the Ondo State Governor. Also, before we leave all the issue of somebody dying, sadly, another person who used to be the former Speaker of the House of Representatives has also passed on at the age of 65. I honestly thought that man was older than that. Maybe because it means that he was the speaker like really young.
Yeah, he was. He was.
Yeah, I know the name, do you understand? So I never knew that he was that young. He was the fourth speaker of the National Assembly. He was also said to have died at the National Hospital in Abuja around 3 a.m. today.
Yeah, Omar Gali Nahaba was, one of those top guys. He was very popular and he was very visible during his tenure. Not only did he become speaker in Nigeria, he was also, at the other parliaments outside Nigeria. He was very, very, very active in those places, and it was something that we really liked and loved then, at least. And again, you must give him kudos. Anybody that could serve in the period of 1999 to 2003 under President Obasanjo, regardless of what anybody thinks, person deserves an award.
Yeah.
A big one.
Yeah. Now, man, you be.
So Umar Gali Nahaba, I think he became an APC member at some point and all of that. Yeah, but it's sad, that someone else has just passed on. I do not know the cause of death. At least we know that in Governor Akeredolu, they're talking about prostate issues and leukemia. But I know that there is no cure for leukemia, for instance. There's no cure for it yet, like that.
No, I think that it's not the one they do like bone transplant and all that.
That's why I said like that. Like if it's caught on time, they might be able to do. But there are no known cures in the area of medicine and all of that. But I was actually going somewhere with that. What I was trying to say is that it is still time for the political class to develop the medical, industry in Nigeria to the point where people don't have to travel abroad for treatment. If you're a governor for 4 years and you can't build one world-class medical facility, you have failed in the area of health. Because I don't know how they think. I know
it's okay, yeah.
A lot of people are talking about building primary healthcare centers and all of that. It is highly required, but these things can work side by side. Imagine if every state in Nigeria had just one world class. When I say world class, I mean world class medical facility. One, the brain drain will stop. Nigerian doctors will not leave if they're well paid and they have fantastic working environments. Two, the quality of life will improve because people will get treated and they'll get quality care. Three, economically, even neighboring countries will come in for what? Medical what? You know what you go to do in India? Same thing will happen here. Medical tourism. But how Nigerian politicians and governors and presidents are comfortable when they get into the system, they're going to change a lot of things around, but they actually never do. They don't go all out. Yes, I know that when you get there, you find some things are different.
But nobody ever like does the.
But how about blowing our minds? Like, okay, I'm not saying that stadiums are not great. It's good to have stadiums, yeah. But as much as I am someone who has functioned more in Nigerian sports space, if you give me money for a stadium, I would rather use it based on the experience I've had to build an hospital. because I think it will benefit people more. How often are you going to host matches at the stadium? Okay, people can come there for keep fit and all of that. Yeah, let them come and keep fit inside the hospital. We'll build a training facility in the hospital too. Do you get? Just picture an hospital of that magnitude, something massive, something big and well structured to take care of people, because health is wealth. And it's always hurtful every time people have to go out of Nigeria for treatment.
Yeah, that's also another conversation. That needs to stop. It actually does need to stop. So moving on from that, and moving on from all the people dying, but still something like that. Vice President Kashim Shettima has now visited victims of Plateau attacks. It's a very, very sad one that has been happening. That has happened. It happened at Christmas. Sadly, a lot more people have been dying. The death toll has risen to about 155. About over 1,000 people are injured, with because some people just decide to be evil.
Yeah, it's one of the saddest things you could ever hear. Innocent people. You know, a few days ago, weeks ago, we were still talking about the incident where the Nigerian army mistakenly opened fire on innocent Nigerians in Kaduna State. And now here we are talking about this very sad incident. And a lot of things have been said about it. People have really blamed the security forces for not being able to nip this one in the bud. And I just want to bring one perspective to it. So the land mass for that area that is affected is said to be about 27,000 square meters or something like that. In comparison, it's like saying Lagos State. And that's just, I think it's just 2 local governments in that area. You get, it's almost as big as Lagos. Not as big, but almost as big as Lagos. What amount of police or soldiers do you want to put there to prevent this? So we have a big problem on our hands.
So it was more of so maybe that's the conversation of more of intelligence gathering.
Yeah, but that's why the governor was talking about intelligence gathering. Yes, that's why he was talking about ungoverned area, because people felt maybe he used the wrong word, ungoverned or whatever. But what they're trying to tell you now is that there are some parts of Nigeria
that even people don't get to. A lot of things don't.
The other day, Governor Soludo of Anambra State, took a boat ride to an island in Anambra State, and when he got there, the people they said, since the inception of the state, this is the first time a governor would come there. And we know how politicians will go from coast to coast searching for votes.
Yeah.
Oh, but did you see what I just did there? Coast to coast searching for votes. So back to this serious matter, though. And that's how difficult governance could be at times. So we need more creative people in government who would look at the entire map and say we must cover this expanse. So we have a big problem on our hands. Technology might come to bear, maybe the deployment of drones and everything, and it will cost money. These are the things. Another thing that I always think of is how we need to put outposts, like build a military barracks in that axis.
That axis, yeah.
But put facilities in place. That way, the community develops. The military men who will be stationed there would also have good quality of life, and they will stem the tide of, violence. Before one person goes from one end with so many guns to go and kill people,
it will be very.
It will be hard because they would have detected them and all of that. But I like what you talked about, intelligence gathering and everything. But again, it's a two-way street. Even if they put out numbers of the DSS or the police and everything, how many people are going to pick up their numbers to call them and say, we have this information? Either because you were not directly involved, or you are afraid that if you call them, you might get into trouble or whatever. So there's a lot of work to be done in the area of security. And it goes beyond just, blaming the security forces for failing.
Yeah.
We must understand that Nigeria is actually a very big country.
It has a lot of landmass.
And
So
we
and
need
it's
more
those
people to
very,
cover
very,
this country.
what's the word now? It's those very obscure places that these people prey on because they know that a lot of these things, people don't get to, security forces don't get to these places as often.
Yeah,
as
there will be
should.
no rapid response in quotes.
Exactly. Now let's move on from that quickly. The National Assembly has reconvened after the Christmas break quickly because they're hoping to pass the budget by Saturday.
Good news, because that means we could start a new year with the new budget, which is hit the ground running kind of thing. At times, when they go on recess around this time, they don't reconvene until the next year.
Yeah.
So what they've done is break it down. This is a Christmas break. Then after this, hopefully everybody can go on recess again and reconvene.
Proper recess, yeah.
Reconvene in January for the business of 2024. This is very good.
Okay, now moving on from that, and updates from the investigation going on in the CBN, especially between the years that the former governor of the CBN, Godwin Emefiele, was there. The Special Investigation Panel has now summoned the chairman of the Titan Trust Bank, Mr. Tunde Lemo, over the acquisition of Union Bank of Nigeria. So there's been a lot of conversation around this and about how some of these acquisitions, I think it's Union Bank and Keystone Bank, I'm not sure, those two banks were acquired, and they're saying that the CBN governor had some things to do with it, that the acquisition is not as pure and simple as that. I get all that. I have a question though. This investigation that is ongoing, why does it seem like there's a media trial?
There would always be, because we live in the era of media
Why
trials.
not finish your investigation and then bring out everything?
No, let's be clear on one thing. The so-called report that is out there, do you really think it was from this investigator? Have you seen like an official statement?
No.
Do you understand? So they call it a leak. Maybe it's the official document that was leaked or not, but that has led to this media trial in quote. So I want to hold my breath and hold on until we get something official to say this is what this special investigator has come up with. And people must realize one thing: anywhere in the world, a special investigator is contracted to do this kind of job. They have powers. They have total powers. They can invite anybody and have anybody, checked and arrested or whatever. And that's what's going on. So here, yes, the media trial thing should not be happening, but it is happening because some people are hell-bent. Maybe they're even hell-bent on truncating the whole process by making it look like, oh, they said this when they did it, and won't say anything at all, because we've not really heard officially from this. But of course, the media, a lot of media houses now, they don't even verify news anymore. They just, oh, it's trending, so it must be real, and they put it out there. Now, we can't speak for the source of the funds that was used to acquire Union Bank. Union Bank is one of the oldest banks in Nigeria. I think it's the second oldest bank, and it's a big bank. And I know a lot of people complained that period that where did these people come from? Where did the funds come from for them to buy or acquire?
They literally just sprang up.
Union Bank. But some of them actually have investments and stakes in the ICT world, like the Tunde Lemo and Kona. They have monies coming from some verified legitimate sources, but I can't speak beyond that. That's what is out there in public knowledge. But maybe, just maybe, some of the things we've read in this so-called special report also indicts them and make them culpable. It's until we hear officially. But yes, it's good that the investigation has not stopped, even with all the leaks.
Okay, so we definitely will follow that up. It's actually just very sad. I would go back to that fact that I feel that especially with the mantra of the former president and how much he was on about anti-corruption and all that, And if it is really true, all these allegations popping up, it was really, really be sad that right under your nose, all these things happened.
Well, President Buhari did say that this was when he was leaving. It was some kind of valedictory warning of sort that, look, if anybody calls me because some of you have done something stupid, there's going to be big trouble. Do you understand? Yeah, that means he knows that there's a possibility that some people had played some hanky-panky. How much of hanky-panky have they played is what we don't know. How deep is this rot that happened under his watch is what we don't know. So, but he's already exonerated himself and said, look, you guys go sort out yourself because I have nothing to do with this. I just want to chip in that it is time that people realize that to be the leader is nice on paper, but it takes more than the title. You must have your eyes open. You must have eyes at your back and while you're looking at your front, and you know everything is happening on the left and on the right, on top and below. You must be on top of everything. And the best way to do that is to build a strong team. However, even Jesus Christ had a Judas.
Any which way, quickly moving on from that, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency has predicted a 3-day dust haze from today, Wednesday, to Friday across Nigeria. Sadly, 4 people died and 59 people got injured on the Kaduna-Abuja Expressway on Boxing Day. I'm actually, as much as this is sad, I don't want to say happy, but it's when I saw the Abuja Expressway, there was a kind of thing that I'm like, the only time we hear news about that a while ago, a few months ago, was about terrorist attacks and if it's about accidents and not about attacks, then I think that it is way better. Kudos to the security agencies that has now made that road safe enough for people to drive on it.
Talking about safety, for those of you who are going to be driving in the next 3 days across the Nigeria space, remember that you've been warned. So please go check out your headlights, make sure that your cars are in good shape, and if you can avoid traveling at night, because dust haze is worse when it's darker than against daytime. You know, because there's the mist and the dust and the haze, and it just affect visibility. So please go make sure that you check out your cars and avoid traveling at night as much as possible.
Quickly, this is good news for the people around Apapa area of Lagos State, where the Apapa Mini-Water Works has resumed operation to residents after 15 whole years.
You know, it's shocking how they allowed such an important aspect of day-to-day living to go moribund for 15 years. But kudos must go to I think it's the Port Authority that actually paid for the repairs, you know.
Yeah, it's
working with the local government or LCDA.
What I was even going to say is that water from, the way we get power from the government, water from the government seems to be a thing of the past now. And this is not even Lagos State, like across Nigeria.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, like, how did we get to this point?
Yeah, because you have to.
We don't even ask those questions anymore.
You have to provide. If you don't, you will be without.
Like, I remember growing up and we used to pay, the way you pay power bills, you pay water bills because there was water.
Again, government has also forgotten that that's another stream of income for them. I use stream loosely. Stream of income. The water will flow and money follows it. But again, it should be part of the fundamental rights of being, a citizen.
It is. That
they should provide, the basic necessities. Water is one of them. And we're not just talking water, we're talking about, clean water. It's kudos to the Apapa local government, kudos to the CDA in that area, but especially the Nigerian Ports Authority. Now, it's time, and they had to relay pipes in the entire area. Pipes that some had been vandalized, some had just been damaged, and all of that. And they say they are going to set up security to monitor what's going on there. So this is a welcome development. I hope that it doesn't also mean that all the other mini waterworks that we see around Lagos are also moribund. Maybe that's what it means.
Maybe that's what it means. Now, quickly before we are out of the studio, wanted to just run through a bit of games that happened on Boxing Day, Premier League games that happened on Boxing Day. Got a lot of people talking. One very interesting one that people got talking about was Nottingham Forest and Newcastle United. This seemed like it was a done deal. And would I say fortunately for Nottingham Forest, even though they have not won a game in about 8 games, but they have a new coach. Everybody was looking at what was going to happen with the first game that they had. They did not win, but they scored quite a number of goals. Yeah, so it was really something to look forward to, and it had to be Newcastle, but they actually defeated Newcastle 3-1.
Bad news for Newcastle.
Not sure
Bad
people
news.
saw that coming.
And there's pressure on the coach now.
A lot of it. Also, Bournemouth defeated Fulham 3-0. Luton Town defeated Sheffield 3-2. Liverpool defeated Burnley 2-0 to now be on top of the Premier League table. That was kind of, it was easy. I think that was a very easy call. The one that was very interesting yesterday is Manchester United and Aston Villa, with Aston Villa leading 2-0 by the first half.
Yep.
And Manchester United coming back to win that game 3-2.
Yeah, an amazing comeback by the Reds of Manchester. It was a good game, ramifications. It was a game of 2 halves. First half, Man United, they flattered to deceive. The Villa hit them at the double, and it was 2 good goals. Like, you look and you say, oh, that United is here again. It's that same useless United that everybody has been saying this season. But maybe Ten Hag borrowed Alex Ferguson's hairdryer that he used to use, because in the halftime they came out, like a house on fire.
They came back, yes. And
and they were saved by they have a relatively young team, Garnacho and Højlund finally broke his duck, scored his first Premier League goal after 1 million games, and the celebration was as if he had won the World Cup. He went all over the place, hitting his chest. Oh, guy, you go wound yourself. Oh. Now, 1 goal you score away, we don't go breathe. So,
well, he made them win that game.
Garnacho did. Garnacho scored 2. He scored 2.
But that game would have ended 2-2. And
Garnacho could have scored the 3rd one. You never can tell. So, who cares? But what I'm just trying to say is that, in all, it was a good game for them. And, they have a new co-owner now who has 25% of the team, and who everybody believes is going to kick the coach out. So this is a good part of the coach's CV to say, you see, we could turn it around. Just give me some time and I'll do something.
Yeah? Let's see what happens. The thing is that, like, I think it has been an issue with United for a while. Is we see these flashes of greatness, and then we're back to like, okay, make it.
The real issue that they have is that before this game, that was 18 games, 18 goals. That means an average of 1 goal per game. That's not good for a team that wants to be amongst the top teams. 18 goals, and you're conceding, so it doesn't make sense. So their problem really is with not scoring goals and also conceding. It's a terrible mix.
You should be able to at least score a lot of goals, even if you're going to concede. Yeah, I get you. Anyway, today's games. Moving on from that, today's games: Brentford and Wolves, Chelsea and Crystal Palace. I think that's one game that you need to watch. Chelsea is not wonderful enough to be able to call this game. I'm sorry.
No, their coach is still speaking a lot of Torrenchi, which is
Manchester
grammar.
City and Everton. I think that Manchester City has a lot of work at this point.
It's not a good time for them to play Everton. Everton, with the woes that they've had this year, losing points and still being able to go on a winning streak since that time, it's going to be a cracker.
Yeah, it definitely would. So you can definitely enjoy these games. And we will be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of The Bar. Do have a beautiful, beautiful day and happy holidays still.
And thanks for being there. Thank you.